Just cut them off. One more bar. All right. Welcome to Discovery High School for the celebration graduation of the class of 2025. Give a big hand to our band for the lovely music. And if we could have everyone rise, we're going to have the band play the national anthem. One more round of applause for the band. Thank you so much. All right. We all know it takes a team to get to graduation, so I have a round of thanks to go through. But first of all, while they're standing, give the class of 2025 a big round of applause. You guys may be seated. Bear with me, I've just got about 3 hours of notes, so it's all good. All right, if you are a parent or a guardian of a graduate, would you please stand while we clap for you and honor you for all your hard work? If you are a past Discovery High School alumni, would you please stand? Thanks for coming back. Some other people who are very important on getting us here to this day, school board and district office staff, would you guys please rise while we say thank you to you? And I think most importantly, our amazing staff over here, if you guys would please rise while we honor you. Our teachers are absolutely amazing, and it's been a crazy year. I don't know if you've been keeping up with that, but they've done an outstanding job, and I just appreciate how hard you guys work. And last, my support staff. Where did you guys go? Tammy, where are you at? Running around doing awesome stuff. Everyone give Tammy a round of applause. And class of 2025, thank you for accepting me as your principal a couple years ago. And now, if you'll bear with me, I just have a few words of wisdom to share with you and your families. So tonight, I wanted to just share a little bit about dreaming. So I've been very fortunate in my life where I've actually been able to be around long enough that a lot of my dreams have come true. At one time, I wanted to climb a bunch of mountains, and I got to do that. I wanted to get married and have kids, and it happened, and that's amazing and wonderful. And so I just feel really blessed that I've been able to experience those things in my life. And so I hope that you guys also get to experience your dreams coming true. And so I want to talk about one dream in particular. It started back in about 2011. That's when I actually had my kids, and we were trying to make a decision where are we going to raise our kids. And so we decided to move back to my hometown. And we came back to Camas. And at that time, I was an online principal. And I had this dream. I was like, I bet we could start an online school in Camas. And so I kind of tried to get that going. But one thing I'll tell you about dreams is you may have a dream, but maybe it's not the right time yet. So maybe it's just not the right time for whatever reason, or maybe you're not ready yet. And so that didn't happen back then. And that's okay, because I don't think I was ready to come over here yet. So just remember that sometimes even though you have plans and dreams, like they may come true on down the road, or something like COVID may happen, and all of a sudden everybody is interested in online schooling. So when that happened, it was a pretty amazing opportunity to come back to my hometown and start an online school. But it hasn't always been easy. So there was a couple years where I got to just do the online school. And then first round of budget cuts. And another thing I'll tell you about dreams is that sometimes there's challenge with dreams. And sometimes they don't always go exactly how you planned. And so that unfortunate circumstance brought me here a couple years ago. And I actually couldn't have asked for a better place to be. And it awakened a new dream inside of me, because the online thing was kind of working out, and was okay. I was pretty good at it, but I was feeling that something was missing. So first of all, what was missing was I wanted to be with kids in my own area where I lived. I didn't want to go over to Oregon and keep doing stuff over there. And also, during COVID, I found out that I really don't like being fully remote. I love being around kids, right? So all these things that I didn't even know that I had inside of me were starting to awaken when I came out here to Discovery. So that's the thing, is sometimes we don't even know like what's inside of us, or sometimes we don't allow those dreams to come out because maybe we feel like, oh, we need to do this or that to provide for our family or get to this goal. But slowly, I began embracing my in-person identity and my in-person experience. And my staff well knows that I'm like, oh, I'm doing something awesome. I'm looking at a project, and then I'm like, oh, dang, I got to go get on Zoom. And so that's what's been going on the last couple years. And so another thing I'll tell you about dreams is those challenges rise opportunities. And so interestingly enough, we go through another round of budget cuts, and I'm no longer the principal of CCA, and I'm just going to be here. And if you had told me that that was going to be the plan 4 years ago when I came here, I don't know if I would have walked through all that difficulty. But the other thing about dreams is sometimes we're given just what we need to get through the day to take that next right step. And now I'm in this amazing school, and we're looking at a very bright future. And if you had asked me 20 years ago when I started my teaching career, and I was a math teacher, and I was building catapults, and we were doing scale models, and using Legos to teach math, I had no idea that there would someday be a whole school dedicated to that. And although I'm sad to see CCA go, and that was my dream that got me here, I'm embracing this new future as a PBL principal, as an in-person principal, and I'm super excited about that. So it takes sometimes a little bit for dreams, the seeds of dreams to grow. And I couldn't even imagine something like this 20 years ago, right? So I didn't even know to dream this dream, and I get to walk this dream now every single day. And so what I would say to you graduates is that sometimes when dreams don't happen when you want them to, dream anyway. When the path to the dream looks impossible, dream anyway. And when you encounter resistance and struggle, dream anyway. When you can't see the next step, dream anyway. So class of 2025, your dreams may not come easily, but I implore you to dream anyway. Congratulations, class of 2025.
Hello. First of all, thank you everyone for coming here today and being able to support my classmates who are also my friends. You guys are so cute. Tonight we have an incredible program which consists of my own student speakers and as well as our own staff speaker who was voted upon by our senior class. It's my honor to welcome and introduce our fellow teacher, Mr.
Oh man, no mic stand. That's all right. We'll be flexible here. Thank you, Versailles. I appreciate that I'm your fellow teacher. I also wore khakis. Versailles earlier today came out in shorts and goes, man, I look like Mr. Alonco at graduation. I'm wearing shorts. So I went home and put khakis on. And I would like to also make a correction. Sorry, Versailles, you know this is when you volunteered to introduce me, you knew this would happen. I believe it says honored speaker on the pamphlet. So I would like to be referred to that now. So juniors, sophomores out there, honored speaker next year. Honored teacher, honored Alonco, those all work. We're good. So yeah, it is absolutely my privilege to give a talk here tonight. Honored, right? Honored speaker. And so, yeah, same as Dr. Hold, I would like to thank family, friends of the graduates. I see a lot of ex-students out there. Awesome. Come say hi afterwards, please. School board, thank you. District office, thank you. The staff, my colleagues, coworkers, and sometimes I think of most of you as acquaintances. We're getting there to friends. And of course, our 2025, there goes a pamphlet, our 2025 graduates. Yes, it says pause for applause there, and so it's going to throw the whole thing off if you don't, yeah. All right, I have a story. I have a story after this, but first, while I do see this as a privilege, I want you to bear with me. About a week ago, one of our graduates, Isla, came by with an invitation from the senior class to give a talk. And if you know Isla, sometimes it's common, but there was a mischievous glint in her eye. And I was like, okay, you know, sure. She did make a card that had calculus puns on it, and I appreciate that. So I was, yes, sure, we're good. But as you know, it's usually not the math guy that comes and does this, right? We do numbers. At most high schools, in our high school, the previous 3 speakers were English teachers, and that makes sense. English teachers, they have what you call feelings. And sometimes they put those feelings into words that become sentences. And most of our department puts those sentences into paragraphs. I'll let you figure out which one that is. And so as a mere math teacher, again, please bear with me. This is not my wheelhouse. Usually we use one-word directions in class, such as solve, complete, do. Every once in a while we're more verbose as be more efficient. So I'll try to get through this, but please keep that in mind. So here's the story. It's about when I first stepped onto this campus. And when I first stepped onto this campus is when I came here for an interview. And this awesome building behind everybody was still under construction. In fact, various construction workers, it was muddy, it was wet. At that time, they only had the second floor. They're starting on the second floor. I mean, there were beams and cement. If I went more into it, my ignorance of how these things are built would come across. So I just know it wasn't finished. And I heard about this kind of through the grapevine of math teachers. I was at Woodland Middle School, and I absolutely loved being there. And I was not looking to move at all. I liked the community, I knew the kids, I knew their families, but I saw this job posting, and it was brand new, PBL, innovative, progressive high school in Camas, Washington. And that just checked too many boxes not to throw my hat in the ring. And I wasn't confident whatsoever because who would not want that dream job? And so I came out here over at Odyssey. I interviewed with Miss Baranowski and Mr. Smith, the principal. So yes, graduates, Ms. Baranowski was on that hiring committee, so it's her fault, just so you know. And when she complains, she did it to herself. And the interview went fine. You know, I thought I did okay, the normal, you know, questions. And then as we were leaving, Mr. Smith was walking me out, and he looks down at my shoes, and he's, what size do you wear? I'm like, okay. Is this still part of the interview? I don't know, John, is that contract? And so, you know, I was like, and he's like, yeah, those are going to get absolutely torn apart and muddy. We're going over and taking a tour, and luckily I had some running shoes in the back of my car. And so we came over here to the building. Again, construction workers, mud, all kinds of stuff all over the place. And we're walking around. And Mr. Smith's, you know, we're looking at these rooms. He's like, that's what we call the mission control. That'll be the makerspace, and all these crazy terms I'd never heard before, you know, learning stairs, R&D studio, project labs. And that's when it hit me. You know, I was coming out here hopefully getting a job. It was fine, you know, meeting some of the teachers. But it hit me when I went into the building, and you start looking, and this thing is different. It is not built for a traditional learning style at all. In fact, we don't have classrooms where you can fit a bunch of 30s. Classrooms are built to have a group of 50 and a group of 25, and you're supposed to move around. You're supposed to be progressive. And so that's when I realized, like, this is where I want to go. And I'll admit, I left that interview incredibly intimidated. I was like, oh, I don't know. I haven't done that before. And I also left a little bit in awe. And between those things, it was where I wanted to move. I think I'm somewhere on this page. And that was 8 years ago. And we've been a program for 7 years. This is our 4th graduating class. And in that time, I have to say this is one of the best moves I've made. Maybe career, possibly life, I don't know. I like my kids. But what we've achieved over the last 7 years, I'm incredibly proud of. As teachers, as a program, I get to learn from my coworkers and their strive for excellence. And more than anything else, graduates. These are the people we're sending out into the community to be our future neighbors, our future coworkers, people that are going to take leadership jobs. And I think that's the highlight so far of what we've done. So graduates, I would say take the leap when there's a chance, an opportunity, even if it's something that kind of leaves you a little bit vulnerable or a challenge. And that is page 1. So get comfortable. Jack, are we on schedule? Okay. Now, at Discovery, I wanted to share a few stories because we are a close-knit group. We have 85-minute classes overlap. So you're seeing the staff and the students spend most of the day together, and they do in normal high schools, but kids usually rotate. We don't always do that. We all have classes together multiple years. In fact, a lot of you, I've had you in what? Algebra 2, pre-calc, calc, financial. That's 4 classes, advisory, projects, freshman intercessions where we built the trail. And that is a lot, that's a countless hours together. So I did want to share, because as an educator, and when you've been doing it for a long time, you realize that you also learn from the kids. And so I wanted to share a few of those things. And here we go. All right. No, that one was done. All right. So one of these students that we spent quite a few hours with, and again, a lot of these students, we spend a lot of time together, but there's one student that embodies that more than any other. And this was last year, and this student has taken every single class that I have offered. In fact, tried to enroll in one this year, and we said no, because he passed calculus and wanted to enroll in a college algebra class. And we're like, you know, that's probably not a good fit. So then became a TA for me. And just to put that into perspective, we spent about 5.5 hours together last year, every other day. It's a lot of time. But Keller, what an absolute pleasure. Where are you, Keller? Yes. And no, you don't get to take any classes here next year. You do need to move on. And some other students. We've been lucky enough to have some students, you know, push on us, push on our own thinking. Youth has a very interesting perspective. They have a different perspective than us as adults. And there's a couple students that we've spent quite a bit of time after school debating, waxing philosophical on local and global topics. In fact, it's quite common that you'll see Mr. Mackey and myself walking out to the car, still debating these students. And Jack and Versailles, those conversations, absolutely a pleasure. Thank you. And now, we have a rare occurrence sometimes. You know, we get close with the students. We feel there's a lot of respect there. And you know, it's normal to look up to people. And we have one student that I think has taken this looking up to a student into an idolization of one of the teachers. And that's normal as a high schooler. I mean, I had John Lennon and Bob Dylan and Marley posters in my room, and I looked up to them. I'm sure you guys have whatever music you listen to, Taylor Swift maybe. But this student, I'm pretty sure, has posters of Mrs. Baranowski in her room. And I know this because I teach in class, and Miss Baranowski's not even there, but her name comes up, and immediately this student will go, "Oh my God, I love her. I do." And they're like, "Well, we were just talking, but she's great. She is one of the best people I know." I was like, "Okay, that's great." And then Miss Baranowski came to class one day. She was coming to, you know, probably check an email if she should send it or not. And sorry. And then she walked in, and this student dropped everything and audibly gasped. And then says, "I love your jacket." And this unbridled enthusiasm for life, wearing your heart on your sleeve, I think we can take a lot from that. Any guesses? Thank you, Paige. Only a couple more, I promise. Similar to Paige and her outlook on life, I've told some of these students this, is to approach every day with positivity and kindness and joyfulness. I know I don't do that. I wish I did. There's often I'll come to work and maybe I'm in a little, you know, poor mood until I get a third cup of coffee or something. These students, every single interaction for 4 years, positive. And what a difference that makes. And again, I think we can all take a lot away from that. And so Riley, Carmen, Theo, and Jocelyn, I appreciate that. Last but not least, I could tell stories and stories and stories, but you know, we got to move on, right? And all graduates have incredible, unique qualities and characteristics, but we have one of our graduates that I really think is a true outlier, and I think it should be mentioned. And this doesn't come from me, just me as the math teacher or whatever. These conversations happen among our staff often. In fact, just a few days ago, we were reflecting on our graduates, and we're trying to think of a student that better embodies what we want as a future citizen, a graduate. And this student, I think, raises the bar in every group she joins, intellectually, culturally, and yeah, as the math guy, also took AP Calculus and got an A. So Tallulah, it's been an absolute pleasure. To close, I can honestly say I love what I do for a living. I don't know if that hurts contract negotiations later. Just joking there. But no, I honestly love what I do for a living. And it's not just the teaching per se. It's not the emails, the curriculum. I like numbers and math, but it's not that. Obviously, it's the students you get to interact with. And this is a unique place, a special place. And for that, class of 2025, I thank you and good luck and continue to be yourselves.
With dignity and honor, I hand the stage to Jaden Bay.
Thank you. Figure this is one I should probably write a script for. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jaden Bay. I'm the ASV Vice President of our school. I want to start this piece by saying on behalf of the graduating class of 2025 that stands right beside me, thank you. Thank you to everyone who's helped us get to where we are today. Thank you to the faculty who's given their all day in and day out to not only create an excellent learning environment for all of us, not only push us to give our best effort, but also take time and effort out of their day to build meaningful relationships with all of us. Thank you to the staff who works tirelessly throughout the day to support everyone around them. Thank you to the administration for overlooking the space, making the tough calls when needed, and building out this community to its best. Thank you to all the family members for helping everyone on the stage get to this point. You all are a backbone we rely so heavily upon, and all words cannot repay the debt we owe to all of you. I know I speak for everyone when I say that we are eternally grateful for everything you do. From simple things like waking us up in case we sleep through our alarms, to providing us love and support when we're at our lowest. Thank you very much. Finally, I want to thank everyone behind me on the stage for creating such a wonderful community that made these 4 years of my life wonderful. I constantly appreciate the moments I'm glad to experience with all of you, and I want to trade that for anything. It's been a long 4 years that we've gone through. We started this journey in 2021 where we are still wearing masks and attending online classes. Granted, it was better than the year before, but it didn't truly feel like we were part of this new journey. All right, thank you, Wind. Where was I? Didn't truly feel like we were part of this new journey. We finally built relationships with each other around halfway through the year to sophomore year. When we finally had a better chance of getting to know each other, we can form new, real connections and strengthen old ones. No more mats, no more screens. Still had a couple screens, but we can finally experience what it was like to actually be here, to be a student of this school. Then came junior year. Finally, we got a grip on what we were doing. Still 16, 17-year-olds, but we come so far from where we started. We got up on whiteboards, spent way too long trying to figure out math problems. Thank you, Blanco. And I know my calc class remembers that day very fondly. Then came senior year. We stayed determined by getting into arguments in the English class. We let our creativity run wild in this campus that they gave us. Blew stuff up. Who doesn't want to see stuff go blow up? Yeah. Now we stand strong, though. It's in line. Our time of waiting and preparing for this new journey is over. I want to ask one question. What now? I mean, we completed all the credits we need to get here. Follow this ride to the very end. Some of us have the next rides we want to take. Others are stressing in their sleep, trying to figure out how to cook dinner. Thank you, Paige. But that's okay. Some of us are taking planes, while others are walking on foot. Again, that's okay. Some of you wonder, Jaden, where are you going with this? I'll tell you right now. We will no longer be held to the core curriculum that we are so used to. The keys have been given to us to make our own choices. Life is our amusement park, where we got twists and turns coming from every angle, drops from the sky, and the most nausea-inducing experience humanity can create. It can also be calm. That is an option. But we can handpick every ride that we take. You can make this journey as enjoyable as you want. The theme park caters to the riders, not the ones who watch from the benches. Around 80% success you will have in your life, you will be made just by showing up, putting your name in the box. Putting yourself out there is what makes you win this game of life. I got this. We're good. You'll never move if you don't roll the dice. Sure, you may have part of the roller coaster you don't like. That's okay. Life isn't perfect, but going through those bumps make the enjoyable parts even more rewarding. So I want to end this speech, very short speech, unlike some people. I had to take one last jab. So I want to end this speech by saying, take that next opportunity you see in your life. Don't let that ride start without you on it. And once you're on it, buckle your seatbelt, keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times, stick your arms up and smile. Thank you. Congratulations to the class of 2025. You're welcome.
Thank you, Jaden. I would now like to welcome up Alferia Gonzalez.
Thank you. Retrospective on, forgive me. Okay, here we go. A little louder. Retrospective on high school. This work will follow 4 sections, each detailing an important aspect of that which ends today, in line with the emotional whims and values of the speaker at hand. Their breath is bated, stomach aching, and the reality of the audience in front of them has just set in. Nonetheless, they begin. Section A, disclosure of surrounding circumstances and context. Discovery High School is an innovative, fledgling, project-based learning campus that iterates on the standard values and institutions of teachings of humanities and sciences through the use of integrative curriculum, projects with active, real-world and the ability to heavily personalize their projects and their learning experience. Discovery High School students are taught not only the research, but the process behind the research, and are given the skills to do the research themselves. But it is far more than ideas or even a program. The campus itself, nestled in a quiet corner of Dan Hendrickson Way, is both a place for learning and a space for students to practice making an impact on the world around them. Most, if not all, alumni will have things to point to that they helped create and that will last for years to come, created by students, for students, in the service of education. For those graduating today, this campus has been a home that was more constant than perhaps their own houses were. It was a place to prosper through growth, discourse, and connection. Section B, community. And in this environment, we've become a family. We've been through the worst hardship, the greatest accomplishments, and the biggest changes together. We've seen each other grow and learn and live and thrive, and we did it together with each other. We look around this stage and we see everyone here and their strengths and even in their most precious weaknesses. Under this challenging, shared obligation of raising us, the most important members of our family are the staff. An odd, unique strength of this campus is that the important adults in our lives got to watch us grow up with a close, caring eye. It is not often that students could truly, unequivocally look to any member of a school building and really count on them, but they can here. We owe our wit to Mackie, our ability to be calculated and capable to Mr. Alonco, our passion for discovering and becoming renowned to Lorch, our ability to dazzle and stun to Baranowski, our ability to build and thrive to Mr. Cavill, our ability to do everything and everything to Miss Linthwaite, our ability to create to Miss Moore, our ability to reach out to the world and make them hear us to Benton, our ability to make the high and low notes of life cohesive to Mr. Bateman, the ability to be critical and caring simultaneously to Miss Christensen, our hearts and souls to Miss Croner, and we owe our well-being to Dr. Dan, Tammy, our counseling staff, our physical education staff, and our TA staff, as well as those we won't be able to shake the hands of today, Streiskooth, Mr. Whitefield, Miss Cunningham, Miss Frisbee, and Miss Ivy. We know that even as this community faces external forces that often make it hard to persist, and even as we ourselves leaving is a difficult thing to do that all of us will have to do eventually. But we know that we've seen each other persist and move forward and push boundaries and succeed year after year after year, better every moment after the next and time after time. The ability to have us work together, appreciate each other, be cordial in times of heavy discourse, and be strong with each other for each other is something they've taught us more than anything else. And none of us would have made it here without each other's hands to hold, shoulders to lean on, and strength to prop each other up. We collaborate with each other like it's second nature. We fight like we're siblings, back when it really matters. We appreciate each other in a way no other high school's graduating class really does. Section C, Aliferia Gonzalez. I spent a lot of high school chasing an idea of myself I thought would be worthy of appreciating. I spent sleepless nights mulling over failed jokes, grammar errors, projects I was never quite happy with, and social situations I wished I had the courage to change. I spent so much of my time at this place trying to avoid my vices, trying to have less screen time, trying to eat better, at my worst less, trying to avoid mirrors and rush towards a grandiose idea of what wouldn't make me want to, telling myself to work and work and work and work and never quite letting the stress of it go. But I stand here now and I realize my biggest vice wasn't something I could tangibly hold or avoid like I thought it was. My biggest issue wasn't something I could lock away or a product I never owned or an idea I accepted. My biggest vice was loneliness. I spent a lot of high school caged up in a prison of my own making, too afraid to speak, too caught up in my own web of dissatisfaction to talk or dare to really connect with the people around me. At the end of this year, I missed around a month of school. I was so caught up in my own anxieties and worries and despairs that I couldn't get out of bed most days. I didn't get to experience a lot of the last festivities or fun or excitement you all had together. But worst of all, I didn't get to experience what little of you all I had left. And God, once I made an anxious, troubled return, I really got a reminder of what I was going to miss. I worked myself to the bone trying to take care of this place, and after I was far gone and burned away enough to stop, you all really, really took care of me in a way I had never even considered people could do. I am forever grateful for your all's patience, time, care, and light. There are some of you I will never speak to again after today, and that fact makes me so incredibly sad. I treasure each and every single one of you, and I really hope as life takes us through everything it has for us, we find each other again through awkward coffee shop reunions, social media deep dives, and the few blessed coincidences the force of the world so grace us with. I want one more lesson with you all. I want one more deep conversation, one more shared judgmental glance, one more messy project, and just one more moment, but unequivocally and neutrally, Section D. It ends. And like the shot of a cannon, the chop of a knife, and the last hint of warmth free from a hug, this is over. You all, we have been given the most incredible resources and development and personhood from this wonderful place. I look around me and I see every single one of you as people who are going to be someone. I know that when we run into each other at important events, college campuses, and even back alleys at our worst, we're going to look at each other and say, wow, I cannot believe the amazing thing you've become. We've grown, we've learned, and we're going to keep growing far beyond this stupid place and into so many better places than we could ever imagine. But I hope we all look back here and we smile. I hope that this place stands and acts as somewhere we can show off all our greatest accomplishments and lessons and facets of life to. And I hope we look forward to those days when they come. I'm going to miss this place. I'm gonna miss you guys. And as much as I can write and extend this script for hours and hours and hours, it is time and time again, second after second, our place now to move on. We did it. We made it. It's over. And I cannot wait for what happens next. One more thing. I really, truly, I love you all.
All right. Thank you, Ferry, for that heartfelt speech. Truly moving, truly. And it is now with great honor and pleasure, I would like to invite one of my closest friends up to the stage to give yet another speech. You might have to sit through another one. Sorry about that. A good friend of mine, Jack Walsh.
Good evening, everyone. Friends, family, teachers, staff in the class of 2025. We have made it. Today we participate in a tradition that started in Boston way back in 1854, our country's first high school graduation ceremony, and presumably our country's first high school graduation speech. With speeches happening every year since then, that adds up to a lot of speeches. Some might say it's a countless number of speeches, but as the founder of our school's math club, I did the math and estimated that over these last 171 years, there have been roughly 4 million high school graduation speeches. And according to my research, out of those 4 million, the total number of speeches that left a lasting impression, that were remembered by the audience long after they were delivered, is approximately 0. So, while I hope to leave you with a lasting memory today, the odds are not exactly in my favor. On the bright side, if I screw up, you probably won't remember that either. Regardless of the odds, I don't know that I have much wisdom, considering I'm 18 and I technically don't even have my high school diploma yet. But I would like to take a few minutes to reflect on what we've been part of here. Something rare, something powerful, and something I believe deeply important. In a world obsessed with more students, more testing, more money, more efficiency, Discovery High School did something different. We went with less. And I mean that in the best possible sense. We were intentional. We chose a different path. At a time when bigger is better and faster is smarter, Discovery slowed down, zoomed in, and built something unique. Smaller class sizes gave us more than just better teacher-to-student ratios. They gave us connection. They gave us teachers who knew us, not just our names, but our stories, our passions, and our quirks. They gave us classmates who became collaborators, competitors, and close friends. And they gave us opportunities. We didn't wait around for someone else to start a club. We just started our own. Disco sales, art club, architecture club, just to name a few. When something was missing, we filled the gap. When someone had an idea, there was a room to run with it. We didn't just attend Discovery, we shaped it. And for a school with just 200 students and only 40 in this graduating class, I'd say we've punched well above our weight. We've built things, led things, won things, and changed things. This place may be small, but the impact has been mighty. I understand the Discovery model isn't the most efficient, and it's not the easiest to fund. It's often first on the chopping block when budgets get tight, and we start looking at spreadsheets instead of students. There are dollars to be saved and efficiencies to be gained, sure, but I'd ask us all, especially the grown-ups in the room, to pause and ask, at what cost? What's lost when you trade community for scale? What disappears when every student becomes one of hundreds? What happens when what works is replaced with what's cheaper? A few weeks ago, my dad was talking to his friend who just moved from Portland back to his hometown on the Oregon coast. In his career, he's worked for large organizations in big cities and previously worked for a member of Congress. But now that he's back in his hometown of 3,500 people, his perspectives has shifted. The treasurer of the high school booster club is more important to him now than any member of Congress. Congress isn't doing much these days anyway, he said, but if we lose Becky from the boosters, we're screwed. Sounds like a joke, but he was not kidding, because Becky shows up. Becky organizes the annual spaghetti feed. Becky knows every kid's name. Becky makes a difference. And in a small, tight-knit community, every person counts. That's what we had at Discovery. That's what made this place magic. So as we go off into a that will tell us to go big or go home, I want to challenge you to remember the power of small. Remember how good it felt to be known, to be trusted, to matter. Seek that out and create it wherever you go. Whether you're in a massive university, crowded workplace, or even your own future neighborhood, don't underestimate the impact you can make in any setting. Because what we've learned here is that change doesn't always come from the top. It comes from people who care, people who connect, and people who take the time to build something real, even if it's not the most efficient, and especially when it's not the biggest. At Discovery, as Discovery kids, we know this firsthand because this is the place where we had the opportunities to discover what really matters. Class of 2025, let's take this lesson with us. Let's build communities, not just careers. Let's make an impact, not just a name. Years from now, you probably won't remember this speech, but I hope you do remember that small can be mighty. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Jack, for your small but mighty words. Don't know how to put this up. And now we are going to go on to the presentation of the diplomas. So please make sure you have your cameras out. There will be a photographer here, but just make sure you get your child's moment. So thank you all for coming.
Actually, we have a surprise for the graduates. You're welcome to listen, but we have a teacher who needs to read a letter to the graduates.
Turn it this way. Like both ways. So I've been telling my wife for 4 years how incredible this group is. I think by the speeches you can see what I'm talking about. And then I was once again talking about them to her. And when we're around friends, I talk about them. And she's like, he really likes his students. And I was talking about how much I'll miss them. And she suggested I be a little vulnerable and write them a letter. And so this was my letter to the senior class of 2025. You were the first class I met in our first full year post-COVID and my first full year at Discovery High School. Coming to school that first day, I had no idea what to expect, and I knew I had a learning curve to deal with, delve into the world of project-based learning. I vividly remember walking into a room full of all of you in it, seeing your optimism, and we'll call it youthful exuberance. Also, your simmering rage for the long-term sub. However, you really grew on me. You are some of the smartest, most genuine and authentic students I've had the pleasure to teach. I've watched as you've become remarkable students and people. You're interesting, passionate, and kind. As a teacher, you're the types of students I hope to teach every year of my career, yet it very rarely happens, and I've had the honor of doing it for 4 years now. You make me laugh on a daily basis, think about ways before, and want to be a better teacher. I truly am going to miss seeing you every day. They're happening, but the days ahead are a celebration of hard work, resilience, and the journey you've taken to get here. But if we're being honest, it's also a time of uncertainty. The road ahead is wide open, driving into places you can't yet see, filled with questions that have yet to be answered, and that's what makes this moment so profound and powerful. The director David Lynch once said, "I like things that leave some room to dream. A lot of mysteries are sewn up at the end, and that kills the dream." I think this quote is a great encapsulation of our mission here at Discovery. By creating a space to allow you to pursue your interests and providing a model that allows for all types of learners. As we sit here today, you are not at the end of a story, you're at the beginning of a mystery. And the beauty of that mystery is that it belongs to you. If everything were neatly laid out, if every challenge had an obvious solution, if success had a guaranteed formula, then where would the excitement be? The unknown isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. I hope we have instilled these ideas in here at Discovery. I hope I have taught you to welcome the unpredictable, to not blindly follow, to view the world as a place to always be learning from, to care deeply, to buck the status quo. Sometimes I fear that in the race for achievement, we try to ensure you have all the answers, and we forget about the mystery. I hope I've allowed the mystery to still exist a little bit, and given you all the possible room I could allow you to dream. At the same time, uncertainty does not mean idly standing idle watching life go by. We live in a time where sometimes what makes us unique and different is somehow seen as a threat. Now, more than ever, we need to be open to those who may come from different backgrounds, nations, and beliefs. We need to embrace them and learn from them and see what part of our dreams they can add to and vice versa. All of this does not mean you will not stumble. It does not mean the path won't be winding and rocky at times. But what it does mean is that you have the power to walk forward even when the way isn't clear. Confidence isn't about knowing exactly where you're going. It's about trusting yourselves enough to take the first step down the mysterious road. If you persevere, if you dare to lean in discomfort, to face setbacks without giving up, to dream even when the dream seems distant, you'll create something extraordinary. Henry David Thoreau said, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined." So, as you step out of the world after high school, don't rush to solve every mystery. Leave some room to dream. Embrace the unknown. Chase the possibilities that scare you, and build lives that reflect who you truly are. And if you do that, you're right where you're meant to be. Please believe you're all worthy of the great things life will give you. Never stop growing and learning. Be kind. Be fearless. My door is always open to each and every one of you. Please do not be strangers, and I'll help you in any way I can in your future endeavors. As Taylor Swift said, a fresh page on the desk, filling in the blanks as we go. So keep writing that mystery. It'll keep the dream alive. I will always be grateful for the time that we spent together.
Wilson. Logan Jimmy Robinson graduates cum laude. Isla Gaston graduates cum laude. Aliferia Dathan Gonzalez graduates cum laude. Paige McCullough graduates cum laude. Logan Bevers. Versailles Owens. Keller Webb. What's that? Okay. I'm proud of you. Take it off. Ivan Frazee. You gotta know what these 4 years have been like. Sonara Schmidt. Roy, let me try again. Rory Perger graduates summa cum laude. Yasu Velasquez Ridley. Theodore Elizabeth Sampe. Carmen Barbero Bellini. Sophie Knight graduates cum laude. Jocelyn Chung graduates summa cum laude. Wyatt Simcoe. Lachlan Butterfield. Beckham Stevenson graduates magna cum laude. Tin No graduates summa cum laude. Ethan Becker. Anthony Felix Garcia. Ryan Fredrickson. Story Hope. Dexter Carroll. Colton Shaw graduates magna cum laude. Special presentation. Nathaniel McBride graduates magna cum laude. That's his dad. Truman Shellman. Hannah Elizabeth Cuffle Leathers. Tallulah Williams graduates summa cum laude. Destiny Oceana Ellis. Skylar Malone. Joseph Myers graduates cum laude. Tahina Minor Ho. Dr. Anzalone.
Good evening and congratulations, class of 2025. On behalf of the Camas School District and the state of Washington, I am proud to say that the Discovery High School class of 2025 has earned the appropriate credentials to graduate from the Camas School District, and I present this class to the Camas School Board.
Thank you. On behalf of the Camas School Board, I accept that this class of 2025 has met all the requirements from the state of Washington to receive their Discovery High School diploma from the Camas School District. Congratulations.
All right, one more big round of applause for the class of 2025. It's official. You can turn those tassels right to left and give it a toss. Congratulations. Now clean up your mess. Just kidding.
Yeah, ready?
This way.